All right, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining. For those who are watching this in a recorded session, thanks for being here with us. Today we're going to talk about Train the Trainer program and some of the activities that goes into it. So thank you for being here. My name is Faris Alami. I'm the founder of International Strategic Management, and we have on the call a few other members, so I'll let them introduce themselves.
Sure, I'll go ahead. I'm Molly O'Meara. I'm the Director of Programs, Growth and Opportunity, and Women's Initiatives. So I oversee our programs and the deployment of those.
And I am Melissa Wilson. I'm an ISM certified business coach, and I'm the main face for the mastermind groups, small group business development, and I'm trained to facilitate other ISM programs.
Thank you both. All right, so let's dive right in. So, these information sessions are designed to make sure that we are engaged in some kind of capacity, and it gives you a flavor of how we run these programs as well. So if you're joining us on a recorded line, you could maybe put just your first name and maybe fun fact. We are recording this for those who are not able to make the times, or we're making these available, and based on requests from many of you, this hopefully will be helpful for you to see and learn more about each one of our programs, at least most of them, not all of them. It's not possible. So just in the chat or in the comments, you could do that. We've been doing this for 22 years, and a few years ago, we did a kind of impact report celebrating our 20th anniversary. You're welcome to download that from our website. Move on. You could read the slides, so I'm not going to read them to you, but we have a mission and a vision to, ignite the entrepreneurial spirit globally, and we've been fortunate to been doing this for the last 22 years. The journey, as many of you can imagine, is not a straightforward journey. So these are some of the highlights that you could actually find more information and details about them in our 20th anniversary report. Our work, although it's broad, I just want to make sure that we're specific in this discussion, at least to understand that we work in these, we call them the 5 pillars of areas of work. And although it's, it could show you how broad we are, it also could let you know that we're also limited to the experiences around this space. So economic development, entrepreneurship, small businesses, around the education, we always have some kind of community engagement, and we always utilize technology to facilitate the discussions that we may have. A lot of times people say, this is awesome stuff. How did you learn it? We learned all this stuff because of the amazing people that we work around the world. So with thousands of people going through our programs and with thousands of organizations that we work with, we learned how to do the work that we're doing now and able to deliver it in a meaningful way based on these awesome people that we were able to interact with. And these individuals that came to us to our programs came through partnerships that we had with institutions that allow us to support them launching programs in their community, from designing the program to implementing the program to training their trainers or facilitators to deliver the program. These are some of the samples of organizations that have brought us in to support their work, and we're lucky to have them in our backyard. If this was people, if you're watching this and recorded and you see one logo that you're interested in what we've done, just send me a note and I'm happy to elaborate a little bit more about it. Most of them we've been, worked with over the years. Probably the average life cycle of our engagement is 5 to 7. We have had some that are 20. We've had some that are 15. We have a few that are maybe 1 or 2, but most of them are usually in this, 10 to 15 years range is where we work with them. You can go on. The way we're structured both internally and externally is we look at the support that we do in 2 different tracks, one for the entrepreneurs and small business owners, and one for the organization that supports them. And our work in the organization that supports them, kind of like thinking through strategies, how long of a program, what kind of program, who should be involved, who should not be involved, what happens after the program, who should be selected into the program, that kind of strategy and ideas. And then on the entrepreneur or small business owners, we're offering either technical assistance or training or one-to-one or one-to-many, just depending on the program that we launch with them, is how they're engaged. Occasionally, on a yearly basis, we get somewhere between 10 to 15 direct entrepreneurs or small business owners to work with us directly, but those are usually referrals from our organizations that we supported them through the program or through a program of a partner's organization. Our expertise is somewhat in the same area of economic development, entrepreneurship, and small business development. So whether it's business to business, B2B match, meaning business to business match, or training or education or program design, these are the areas that we've played in the past. And we have focused not necessarily exclusively on the underrepresented or underserved communities. It's not possible to put all of our programs on one slide. We have at least 20 some that we have been doing over and over. And then there are always every year about 1 to 5 that are, one-offs or something specific for specific needs or want with our, partners or participants. So these are some of, I'm going to call them signature programs that we have delivered year over year, from capital readiness to training the trainer, to technical assistance, to business planning, to resiliency. There are just too many to mention, and today we're going to focus on one of them. It's not possible to do all of them this year either, to go through each one of them, but if there's one specific one that you're interested in or a topic that you're interested in, please feel free to follow up with us. We do have a process and all the things that we're doing, and we continue to improve it, but this is, I call it the secret sauce of how we develop and deliver programs. And what I learned in the past, when people see this, they're like, oh, these are the things in my head, but I didn't realize that I could organize them this way. We have taken the time and the effort to make sure that we're doing these things over and over, and it's not just once off, by following this specific process, by asking questions to make sure that we are building programs and activities around these ideas before we launch them. And the reason for that is because we're always looking for the impact and the results that we're going to accumulate based on the work that we're doing together. Our programs or initiatives have always at least have these 5, I call them components of a program. We always have some kind of programming, whether it's online or in-person activity. So this could be one-to-one, one-to-many, just depending on how the program is structured. Then we always include them in our online community, and this is a private community. It's not open to public unless they ask us to, but usually it's very closed community. So it's a safe zone where you could question things, ask things, and then the business coaches and the team from the ISM team are also on this community, so they could respond to you. In addition, we have a technology that we use called Yellow Plan, where we actually allow individuals going through our programs to draft their plans, whether it's a business plan, a resiliency plan, a contingency plan, a funding plan, whatever that is, through this technology, which has AI capacity as well as market research. So therefore, it's more comprehensive. All of our programs usually have some kind of syllabus or agenda that we want to follow, because we want to make sure that we're thinking through a framework or a specific way of thinking. And then usually there is a workbook or a reading book or other tools that we may provide throughout the program. Each one of these things have a reason. So the online or in-person sessions, and sometimes we do hybrid, like both ways, but sometimes it's just one way or the other. It's an opportunity to make sure that we are tackling that topic that we're working with individuals on. So an example would be if we're talking about business planning, discussing what a business plan should have, walking through it section by section. If we're talking about funding or pitching or fundraising, all of these things have different ideas. So this is the place where we are learning it from each other. And if it's one-to-many, then we're building on the community that we have. If it's one-to-one, it's building on the experience and the expertise of our team. Next slide. The community online, as I mentioned earlier, is a place where we also allow individuals to practice and collaborate. So this is where usually there's, you might call them homework. We like to call them action steps or follow-ups. So we might ask you to turn in something for someone to read it or give you feedback on, or for you just to ensure that you're building on what you learned specifically for you. And this is where you get to practice, because with our portal, you could submit something, but then you can take it back if you want to update it or change it. And you could also download it once you're done. So you have this flexibility to practice what we kind of discussed in the earlier section. And then the yellow plan is where you usually like to say, this is where you finalize your thoughts, and now you could, make it pretty and maybe potentially present it, because you could download this in a Word or a PDF, and you could now present it to a group of investors, business partners, internal team, yourself, whatever the case that you're trying to use, the discussions that we had based on the program that we delivered for you. The syllabus will change from group to group, but there always will be some syllabus, meaning that we spend time and thoughts ensuring that this program delivers the maximum that we could deliver within the time period that we have, and where you could apply what we're discussing within that time as well by creating these syllabus and agendas for each one of those sessions. And the workbooks and books, some of the times they're ISM books, some of the times they're not ISM books or produced by ISM. They're usually always a workbook to go with all of the programs we have, and there are always some tools that we provide that we have either accumulated throughout the years creating ourselves, or we are licensed to facilitate through our partnerships with different organizations. Today, we'll talk about train the trainer, because one of the things that people ask is, can we build capacity locally? And the truth is we could do this in multiple ways, and we've done it for, sometimes you may call it train the trainer, sometimes we call it capacity building. So just depends on what you call it. But the idea here is train others to deliver certain activities within the programs. And in this case, we're training them in general on entrepreneurship and small business development. We've had others where we, as an example, we license our Resilient Entrepreneur program, which has a canvas, a workbook, a technology, and a syllabus, and someone could actually take it and deliver it themselves on a university campus or in a community. And that's similar to this, but that's specific for that resiliency. So how to use that specific syllabus and deliver it. Versus this one is more about how do you support entrepreneurs and small business owners in the communities that you serve. And the tagline I like to say is meet them where they are. And the example I use, someone says, I need money. And you say, here's a banker, but meeting them where they are would be, do you have a business plan to submit to the banker? So kind of like helping them get to where they could go to where they want to go. All right. The way that it's structured, it's 10 sessions that could be delivered in 5 weeks or 10 weeks. We've stretched it before for more, and we've condensed it before for a little, but the average is usually somewhere between 5 to 10 weeks. And each one of these sessions, we go through different ideas and concepts to make sure that we're supporting the entrepreneurs where they are. So we start with a welcome and orientation, where we're talking about the ecosystem and technical assistant and what are this terminology used. Then we dive into do we coach, do we mentor, am I an advisor, am I consulting, am I doing something else? And we work through what are those skill sets for each one of those things and how to engage the entrepreneurs and small business owners based on where they are with the specific skills that comes with each one of these roles. Are we doing anything as far as teaching, or are we facilitating? Are we training? Are we, tutoring? What are we exactly doing? We walk through how each one of these ideas has a role within the programs that you're delivering, and understanding when to use that skill set to deliver whatever content you're trying to do with the entrepreneurs and small business owners in your community. Are you working with startups or scale-ups? Are you working with tech businesses? Are you working with place-based business? Are you working with service business? Are you working with home businesses? Are you working with, idea stage? Each one of these things is different. So working through how to support them based on that specific wants or needs is really important. Then we move right away to understanding the small business enterprise and how to support the small business owners. And the components of small business owners, growth strategies, and whether it's a lifestyle or it's a growth that they're going after, just meeting them where they are with that curriculum. And then we talk about you as a person, looking at your strength and understanding what you can offer to the community as well as the team that you're working with. We do an assessment for you on your personal strength, and then we work through how you could leverage that. Then we discuss some of the tools that are available out there that you could start utilizing. Some of it is free, some of it a little bit cost money, some of it low cost, some of it high cost, the difference between them based on our experience working with most of them. Then we talk about what framework can you take from what we've learned to start deploying in your community right away. And then understanding for if it's an executive team, we usually talk about the budget and how to document these things. And if it's the implementing team, meaning that it's the actual coaches or trainers, we're talking about helping them understand how to support the entrepreneurs with creating budgets and helping them create some models that allows them to reach the communities that they're getting. And then, of course, we do a celebration of graduation where they do a quick presentation on what they're planning to implement based on what we discussed here. And on the next slide. In all the programs we have, we always have expectations. So, the expectations are really clear. We want to deliver some clear content to you, make sure that you're engaged, we hold you accountable, but also you have to be able to engage and be participating and things of that nature. One of the things I usually say is you get out of any of the program we have what you put into it. And a lot of times people say, well, this was a great program. People were awesome. And I'm like, the only reason why it's great and the reason why all of you were awesome is because you were awesome and you were participating. If you put in a lot of into the program, you're going to get a lot out of it. If you put nothing in it, you're going to get absolutely nothing. So that's kind of like the expectations that you're actively engaged. It's a safe environment, and we're here to support you. And the community that we're building is also there to support you. We're lucky to have an amazing team that supports this work from an administrative perspective. So these are the people who are making these slides, building the curriculum, building the tools that we're using, and making sure that you're getting the messages. It's not possible to list all of them, but these are the main key players. And then, of course, we have I call it the delivery team. And these are the people who you may see also, in addition, behind the scene. You may see in the next slide that these are the people who are delivering the actual program in the classrooms or in the training or in the one-on-one coaching or in the one-on-one session or in the one-to-many sessions, depending on what we're doing with them. Every year, we probably range somewhere between 12 to 15 or 20 organizations that we work with. Over the years, we've worked with thousands of them, and over the years, we've worked with 101 country exact. But on a yearly basis, we're probably working with maybe a dozen or so countries and a dozen or two organizations. This is a sample of what we did last year. And again, for those who are watching this and recorded, feel free to send me with a question about what we did with one organization to provide you the specifics if you're interested. That concludes our session today. I really want to take the time to say thank you for your commitment to support our work and giving us an opportunity to support your work in your community. And as a normal way of closing a program, we always ask for one word for the day. And you can put that in the chat or in the, in the comment section for those who are watching in the recording. And of course, feel free to contact us. There's a general form that you send us a note and somebody from the team could follow up with you. All right. For now, thank you for being here. Appreciate your engagement and appreciate your continued support. Till next time, have a great day.